Hey everybody, welcome back to Brian Clogger, the channel for great clogging content. This is Brian Bond. This is part 2 of my interview with Eric Bice. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it. You know, without this step in clogging, this step couldn't happen. Without this step couldn't happen. Without workshop clogging, honestly, like maybe I don't think competition clogging would have turned into what it did in the 80s because, you know, workshop clogging laid the groundwork for that.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like for me, and I talk about this a little bit because part of these conversations are sort of my journey and my understanding of clogging. I've learned a lot about the evolution of clogging in the 80s and 90s, but also before then. And with COVID, I feel like I've really started to open my eyes to my limitations. So I love everything about my clogging career, but the one thing I was telling you last week that I feel like is the part that was missing is the sense of clogging community. We had California All-Star Cloggers, I had Powerhouse, but I forgot what it was like to have fun with everybody else and have a good time. So you had a good balance of that. That's cool.
Yeah, and it is definitely a social event, that's for sure. I met, you know, in clogging, people that inspired me to keep doing it are the people from every walks of life, every nationality, every gender, you know, well, there's only so many genders, but
I know what you mean.
And, you know, financial stabilities or whatever you call their status, I should say. So it was great. And everyone would go there. And when they showed up on I was lucky enough to have a really cool class on Friday nights when I was early on in teaching.
I remember that class.
Most everybody did not have to go to work the next day. So we'd hang around and
pizza party.
Every week. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Pizza across the street. Yeah. So that was great. But the thing to see all those people in different walks of life interacting with each other and having a fun time with each other and being uninhibited, you know, you got some people that are very intelligent. I mean, we had NASA engineers, we had rocket science, we had school teachers, we had trash people, you know, trash delivery or, you know, so I mean, we had people.
And trash people.
Yeah. We had people that were, I mean, all walks of life. You know, that's what keeps us going, right? Everyone has to have a job that we do. And, so anyway, but nobody treated each other. Yeah. They treated each other like cloggers, not their other social status, you know? So it was great. And then some people, elderly ladies early on when I was teaching, went for their physicals after they'd been dancing with me for a while. And their doctors were asking them, what are you doing? What did you change? What did you add to your thing? And, you know, because your labs are perfect. Everything's great. You're looking good. And it was kind of an honor that they're like, well, I started clogging. And it's all about the clogging. So it was good to know that clogging is also, you know, a benefit, a health benefit as well.
It's also a mental benefit because, like, I have some people that have high stress careers, right? Like, but they do clogging because it allows them to have some fun, some joy. Right. Because that, you know, clogging, I feel like it's not just a feel-good dance because the music is fun. I feel like the rhythms of clogging, da-da-da, 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 they just have a really driving, exciting downbeat rhythm that are fun to do and to watch. Like, it's a win-win, right? Buckshot, the next generation, but let's talk about what Buckshot, the first generation, was, and about one of my favorite things I ever got to do when I was a young clogger, Buckshot Shindig. I loved it. I had so much fun there, and you guys made us feel like rock stars. It was just great.
That's fun. Funny story. Jim Ferris, he's a friend of mine from, he lives in Texas again now. He was originally from Texas, and he moved out here, and we were about the same age. He's like a year older than me. When we were 12 or 13 or 14, you know, he shows up into the clogging class with cowboy boots on, ready to go. He had taps on his cowboy boots. It was awesome. And so, anyway, he and I would challenge each other, and you know, we were a support system. And my adult buckshot team started out because Jim and I got together, and it's really weird because that song called Party Like It's 1999.
Yeah.
That was, you know, in the 80s, right? So we wrote a dance to that, and I choreographed it, and we taught it together at class. And then Jim wrote a dance, and then, I mean, in his garage, just him and me. And then he taught me one of his dances. And then one of our other friends, Frank Roberts, he was a clogging instructor, also goes, hey, let me just get in on some of that. So then he came, and then he invited another friend. And then we invited quite a few people, and then we decided that, hey, this might be pretty fun. So we got a group of dancers together. Lindy Campbell, she was in it, of course, and Jim was in it, and Dixine. I think we talked about that.
Yes, in Alaska, yeah. Dixine, I love it. She's so. Every year I would go to Alaska. We just had a great time dancing together. She was fun. She was fun.
Excellent. Yep. Jose. So anyway, what happened was a bunch of us ended up. We were instructors. So not only were we doing this exhibition team and doing exhibitions and some competition too with the older, they were all older. Lindy was the youngest one, but we decided we'd just do a workshop, and let's get, there's 5 or 6 teachers on our team. Let's just get a workshop together. And then we started a workshop in Ventura County at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. It lasted, I think we had at least 10 of them.
Yeah.
And then it was a lot of fun. So, and then eventually, we were teaching, and then we'd have guest instructors. I'm sure you might remember some of them that came out, national instructors we would have out. Yeah. And it was just fun. We always had it on Halloween weekend. As close to Halloween as possible. And so we would have kind of a Halloweenish theme going on, and people would love it. They would get dressed up and do, we'd give away some prizes. And we tried a few different things, like a couple times, instead of having a clogging dance in the evening after we'd clogged all day long, we got a DJ once, and I think we had live music once, and just to kind of break it up a little bit, have some fun, and just do some other social interactions with. So that workshop was a lot of fun. But over the years, it takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, and you can't always count on, all the people coming. So you may be willing to put in the work and put in the money, but you got to have enough people to come to at least balance it out, right? It's hard.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Sustain it. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem, because we have such low numbers out here. It's hard for our organizations to sustain what they offer us, and we just need to somehow get some more blood interested in it, and more people involved. And hopefully, I'm hoping, after we're all cooped up at home for the last 9 months or whatever, once we're able to get outside again, I'm hoping that everybody will just get off the couch and just love it. Not that everyone's just sitting around on the couch, but it might.
Burton Edwards said the same thing. Burton said, once this is over, I feel like people are like revving their feet. They're ready to get out and have some fun, right? Like,
right on.
Absolutely. We did the only live shows we did last year were at a pumpkin patch. It was crazy. They must have literally, and I'm not exaggerating, they probably made millions of dollars each weekend, because so many people were going. They wanted to get out and have fun with their families. I think it'll be the same for entertainment and recreational classes. I think it'll really at least go big at first, right?
Yeah. Well, that was a name from the past, Burton Edwards. That's awesome. And talk about competition. When we used to compete at the Los Angeles County Fairgrounds, that was sponsored by SCCA. Yeah, that's right. And Burton was mopping up the floor with me, that's for sure. Man,
Burton mopped up the floor with all of us. He was so good. He's just so cool. Like I was watching some of his old videos, and he's just, he is so smooth when he dances. It's so, and I don't know, you should, like, if you're not on my channel, subscribe, and then check out Burton's interview, but also check out the documentary Talking Feet. But it was done by the Smithsonian Institute, and Burton and his dad and about, I don't know how many other people, but all the other people were old and Burton was young. But Burton was definitely, smooth and cool.
I think Bill Nichols was part of that.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I think so. And so I don't know if Simone was, involved, or if she was too young at the time. But what an influence Burton was, and Bobby Rivas, and they all came out and had a good time. And if you ever get a chance, hopefully it's on video somewhere, Burton Edwards and his wife Carolyn did a dance to Time of My Life or something like that from Dirty Dancing. The one where they lift her up over the head and do all that.
Yeah.
And they threw that in there too, and it was beautiful. The whole thing was just smooth.
Ever since you mentioned it last week, I vaguely remember that duet, and I thought it was pretty cool too.
Right. Just that it was smooth, from dancing, from clogging into suave and elegant. It was awesome.
Burton, I think I told you this last week too. Burton was, I was watching the Talking Feet documentary, and he called clogging a freedom dance. And this is what I love too about it, because you're free to do it however you want to do it, right? Like California can do it our way. The recreational cloggers can do it their way. Competition cloggers can do it their way. The buck dancers can do it their way. and none of it's wrong. It's all the right way.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
That is great. That is a fun part about clogging. It's not strenuous. I mean, you know, that you have to be exactly the same. It is freedom. That's a really cool analogy.
Boys, girls, men, women, young, old, skinny, not skinny. Anybody can do it and be great and have a good time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's got me hooked doing it for all these years.
Yeah.
You know, is it great? We obviously don't do it well. I don't do it for money because just, you know, over the years, if I clogged for money, I would have stopped a long time ago, man. But it's definitely for all the other benefits that we get, you know, our own personal health benefits as well as social interactions and
up here,
friendships.
I had a bad day yesterday, and I turned on my computer. I was teaching a class, and man, it totally changed my outlook. It made me feel so good. Clogging is like my best friend. Burton, you know what? That's Burton again. Burton called it his best friend. It really is been my lifelong friend. It's been with me since I was 14 years old, and it's brought so much greatness and happiness and so many good people. I've been trying to teach my students some more of the workshop dances during COVID, and it's fun. And to think that we can go, maybe next time we go to SCCA, they turn on Rocky Top, we'll all know it, right? We turn on some other ones, we'll start to know those and get to do those with you guys. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, clogging has opened up so many avenues for me and have given me so many benefits. It's been awesome. So I've been fortunate enough to get to teach in Australia and New Zealand and Canada, lots of places in Canada.
That was the one other question I didn't get to yet. I started to, and then I got distracted. Talk to me a little bit about how you got involved teaching at nationals and becoming more known outside of California.
Well, lucky thing is 1986, I think, was the third national convention, or second, third, or fourth, somewhere in there. I forget. It's been 1986. So our Buckshot group, we decided that we were going to drive from California to Dallas-Fort Worth to go to the national convention.
Wow.
And so we all loaded in a bus and took turns of driving and just went out there to do that. And so my first experience at the national convention was just amazing. But, you know, there was 8, 9, 10,000 people there.
Crazy. Wow.
It was pretty amazing. And, well, I don't even know if there's that many there, because it came to the West Coast, which was nice that they did it. When they had their events way back in the heyday, especially in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry, yeah, they had thousands and thousands of dancers there. It was so great. Cool. Yeah, so, I mean, I got hooked by seeing the people that are out there doing it. You know, Scotty Bills has always been an influence in my career. You know, we're the same age practically, and so, you know, he always taught out here at Possum Trot.
He's about 20 years older than me.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it was cool that Scotty got hooked up with Joanne Gibbs and Tandy Barrett for a lot of time, and you know, he got some great experiences out of it. Seeing him do it was very inspiring, and other people along the way too. I mean, Sherry Glass and Matt Pearson and Missy Pearson. I mean, there's some people, and Jeff Driggs and Parrott. I mean, there's just so many of them. All the Chips, there was 3 or 4 Chips. You know, Woodall and Summy and such. Anyway, a lot of them. It was just cool seeing all them having a great time up there. And so I made a point to go and talk to them and introduce myself and just have a good time and let them know that I was there, you know. And then I got fortunate really to start teaching outside of my backyard. A guy named Alan Zion that was part of Armadillo Stampede in Texas.
I remember
Labor Day weekend. So he took a chance on me and brought me out. And I got to teach out there 2 or 3 times, and it was a big enough event that other national people came and saw it. And so then I started getting invited to teach at the national convention, and I'm always appreciative of Joanne Gibbs and her staff and the board who was kind enough to let me do it. And I think I got like 15 under my belt. There's been a lot of them, so I got to teach her about 15 times. And it's just such a great experience every time, and the people treat you great. You know, the dancers, to see them all out on the floor smiling and having a great time and doing the shenanigans at night. But so I just got on Alan, I think, was a big break to get me out there. But so when I went to Texas, I met Mike McDowell from Portland area, from the Northwest. And I shortly was doing some workshops up in the Northwest. Actually, we met pretty early on, too. So he was influential of getting me out of the backyard of California and introducing me to this part of the world, you know. So it was fun.
Well, and obviously it was a success. You were well received, because like you said, you've done it at least 15 years in national, and then so many regional, and in California, you're like a staple, like, you know what I mean? You're like the old comfortable shoe. Let's put it. I'm kidding.
Wow, and that's weird. 'Cause, you know, there's so many mentors of ours when we were here, and I can't believe that. I don't know when, 90, somewhere around there, early 90s. It's like, oh yeah, Brian also came and started clogging in California, but now you're a staple out here too.
I'm a California now, but the difference was, and I want every California workshop clogger to know this, that I never, ever, ever, I just want you to know, I never think I'm better than workshop clogging. I absolutely don't. I love it. When I go to the workshops and I poke my head in, I'm thrilled. It's so much fun. And I've had a lot of fun the last 2 years. And I credit Cricket and Elaine really with doing a great job with SCCA the last couple of years and giving it some new life. But, you know, the only reason I didn't do more is because I was so busy doing my own thing. But don't worry, that's going to change. I'm going to do more. I'm going to be around more.
Yeah, so we're glad to have you. It's awesome. But how funny, right? It seems like, oh, yeah, just not long ago, you just moved out to California.
You know how long I've been here now? I've been here 28 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. And Eric, you know what I didn't tell you in this? I said this last week. Eric was so nice. When I moved to California, I was earning like $300 a month. I had no money. And Eric let me live in the downstairs level of his condo for a few months, like 4 or 5 months at least, so I could buy a car and have a way to get around town and get a job. So I bow before you in gratitude. And you know what? I probably wouldn't have done that, except for Eric is just so sincerely nice. It just felt like a genuine act of kindness I could accept. So thank you, Eric, for that.
Well, yeah, I didn't need anything for it. You know what I mean? Or I wasn't doing it to gain anything for myself. And it was awesome to see you come out here because I know you were inspired to do it, and I know you wanted to kind of do the LA life. Things like that, you know, Hollywood kind of thing. And that was really, really cool. But you know what, man? You got to look back at your mom. Yikes. Here's a nice little young Mormon guy, all sweet and everything.
I know.
Your mom's going to send you over some crazy California.
California. I know they were a little worried about California when I first moved. But you know what? California's got some good people. I give California some grief sometimes, but then we have days like today. Today was so stunning out here, and we have so many good people. And you know what? The clogging scene, I can pretend I can think I wish it was this or I wish it was that, but it's exactly what it needs to be. And we can make a focused effort as cloggers to change it and build it, leave it the way it is. I mean, it's not going to go away, I don't think. You know, too many of us love it.
Yep. Just add different levels to it,
I'd like to see more kids clog, and that's one of the things I have in the back of my brain as we go to, like I said, move forward and get it to grow, get more kids involved. My group was starting to rebuild. I had 50-something students every Tuesday night, and then COVID.
Yeah, please do. It'd be great.
Eric, I can't wait to see you again in person.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah,
so, I appreciate you, Eric, and tell Michelle I said hi. By the way, Michelle is also a great clogger, and Eric and Michelle were two of the first cloggers to ever do Powerhouse 20 years ago. It was exactly 20 years ago.
Downtown Disney.
Downtown Disney. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. That was a good time. That was great.
Yeah, you know, I've been lucky with Powerhouse. I've hired over 175 amazing cloggers over the years, and it's been
right on.
Every one of them has had an influence on me. Most of them good, and it's just it's interesting to see how connecting with like cloggers from East Coast or California or whatever changes the dynamic of the show, but it's always been good. It's always been fun and exciting, so that's been a good thing.
I always did like that about it, you know, with your group. It wasn't, you know, at first we were here, just the Californians kind of got started with it, but your expansion included people from all around the country in different areas. And so the dedication that they had to do on their own to master those routines and stuff and show up and do them well, you know, that was great.
Yeah, they have to learn everything from video and be ready to go the next day when they get here, which is pretty amazing. So they've done a great job. We've got a lot of great answers now, and the channel's been doing great. We got, like I said, 900 new subscribers for clogging, right? That's great. That's great. It's not easy to do.
That is awesome.
Right now, we're doing step contest. We're going to do a new virtual contest where they do submit their videos, and we're also going to keep doing interviews and preserve our clogging history and connect cloggers from around the world. Woo!
Yeah, that's another interesting thing with the COVID stuff is, you know, I was pretty much limited. I mean, I get out and travel every now and then, but now we have an opportunity on a weekly, monthly basis or whatever to participate with our friends overseas clogging in Australia and Japan. And it's really interesting that, you know, that we open up these different avenues to get together and do stuff on YouTube and things like that.
It's not going away. Even when COVID goes away, people will have grown used to being able to reach out to cloggers, and you know, you can go on my YouTube channel and find cloggers from Tennessee or cloggers from North Carolina, or you know, I had a guy from Sweden enter one of the contests, and that, and not, I'm just talking about my channel because that's what I know, but there's all sorts of that stuff on the internet right now. It's going to grow. It's going to grow.
Yep. Perfect. Yep. I like it. All right, Brian. Well, thank you for including me. I was honored to be on.
I'm excited you did it, Eric. I think the world of you, and I appreciate you a lot.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right, everybody.
Take care.
Oh, wait, Eric, one more thing. Do me a favor. Just tell everybody to subscribe to Bry Clogger, the YouTube channel.
Hey, you all out there watching this now, make sure that you get out and that you subscribe to Brian's YouTube channel with the clogging. It's got all kinds of great stuff, some interviews and some fun competitions and some other things that you can do around the house. So sign up. There's quite a few on there, and more that builds, the cooler we can all
That's right.
have. Yep.
And if you look at my YouTube channel and look up Utah competition in the year 2000, Eric's Buckshot team's on there doing one of their routines. I'll put a little clip in the video, but check it out for more of that kind of stuff, you guys.
Right on.
All right, Eric. I'll talk to you later, my friend.
All right, Brian.
Have a great night.